Hello and welcome to Mercer Farms. We're here starting off a new series on Mercer County. This is a map by MRG Mapping. However, I am playing on the edit that Diniz Farms did. And so we're going to be starting off a nice small little farm here and kind of diving right into things today. If I pull up the map here just to show you guys what the PDA looks like for this map is based in Ohio, and while a lot of the edits to this map focus on animals, we've actually got animals going in our other series at the moment, and so we're actually going to focus on this small grain farm here over on the northwest side of the map. We've got a few fields here, and so we're going to go ahead and grab a seed tender here and take a trip into town. We need to get some lime so that we can start spreading some lime on our fields. We are playing with seasons, we are playing with precision farming, and so as we kind of move around the farm here today, I'll show off some of our equipment. And so we're trying out a whole bunch of new mods today, and I'm super excited here. So if we hop out here, we do have an Unverth seed tender here, but this is not the in-game one. This is one that KMN released quite a while ago. We've got a Navigator 6000 Hardy sprayer, and this mod's been out for a while now, but I've not had a chance to use it. And so this is the 2510H. And this accepts lime in the tank, and so we're going to actually spread that using this applicator. We do have the new 8030 series tractor that Diniz Farms released, so we're going to be giving that a shot. Should be a fun tractor to check out, and this tractor has a lot of enhancements, so we got a lot of gizmos and gadgets here in the cab, which is always really nice to see. A lot of attention to detail here on this particular tractor. And so we're going to be getting this thing out today and trying to put some lime onto some of our fields. And so I went ahead and got this all hooked up, and so we're just going to pull this on out here in the yard. And we're going to take the seed tender up here and run out and get some lime. And that'll be a good way to kind of check out the map a little bit. And see some of the areas outside of our farm. Now, normally I would do a full farm tour. However, maybe we'll just take a quick spin around the yard. I don't know that I want to go into all of our equipment just yet, but maybe we'll just take a quick peek at some of the other things that we got here. And as we start using things on the farm, we'll dive into the specifics and where I got the mods and so on and so forth. But we do have the 7010 series here from Diniz Farms. I've got this really cool 12-row stack fold that I found. I don't even know where I got this, but I spent some time cleaning that up, so we're going to be giving that a shot here soon. And, yeah, we've got a grain cart. We've got, our harvest equipment all set up in here. So, some familiar equipment, some equipment that I haven't really used too many times yet. And so I'm super excited to kind of put this stuff to the test. And then we've got one more shed over here that's got a bunch of additional equipment. And yeah, we couldn't go to Ohio without using some of the Unverth equipment here. And we've got Sid Modding's 9020 series, which really needs to be put to the test, along with Perma's Landau plow. And we might end up drilling some stuff in at some point here, so I'm not sure. But we've got a nice little drill here that I wanted to try out, which is also from Diniz Farms. And so I figured he did the edit on this map and has released a number of great mods that I haven't really gotten a chance to put to the test. And so we're going to try and use a bunch of his equipment in this series. So with that, let's go ahead and hop back in the truck here, and we're going to run on up to the co-op. And we're going to get some lime, and I think we're going to fill this whole thing up with lime. Now, this has been edited to accept, I think, most bulk products at this point. Realistically, I'm not really sure that you'd haul lime in this, but I think it's going to work really well for our farm here. This seed tender is got 2 hoppers in it, so we'll be able to haul seed and dry fertilizer. And usually I run on liquid fertilizer for everything that we do, but I've been trying to experiment with some different things, and as you saw here with the really brief farm tour that we just did, most of our equipment, not all of it, but most of our equipment is like early 2000s era, and at that stage we were still using dry fertilizer for a lot of stuff. We were using liquid fertilizer for things, but you know, I think people are still using dry fertilizer in certain situations, but you know, it's just something different to try. And the planter we've got is dry fertilizer boxes on there, so I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to mix it up a little bit. And honestly, I just never really got a chance to play with this particular mod, and we had a good gooseneck trailer that seemed to be working pretty good, and so that's what we're gonna try. Now unfortunately I do have to use the auger to fill this up. I can't just dump into it, and so we're gonna do that here real quick, but we're gonna just fill both hoppers up here with lime. And as you can see, we've got a pretty nice little co-op here, this nutrient ag solution setup, where I can get all my bulk fill types, including anhydrous, which has been added to this map. And so we're going to be able to potentially do some anhydrous in the fall after we harvest. I know sometimes a lot of people are doing it in the spring now as well, but we've been using anhydrous in some of our other series, and so I thought it would be fun to do something just a little bit different in this one as well. And so as usual, I am using precision farming, and so as you can see here, our fields not that great, mostly sandy loam, and so we're going to take a little bit of a yield penalty on our fields. If we look through the normal map here, when you go into the buy screen, you can look and see the percentage here, and so you can see we're actually a little bit below expected yield or base game norms. And so that's okay. It's gonna just give us a smidge more challenge. Not that a couple of percent here and there is that big of a deal. But we have also started out with no loan yet, but we are at $80,000 here after we bought this lime. And so that's gonna give us just a smidge of a challenge as well. We're gonna run on hard economic difficulty as usual. Yeah, I'm really liking this map. One thing I like about this map here, if we kind of pull over, is that you can see that there's fields outside of the boundary of the playable area of the map. And so as the seasons go on, those fields should grow from the NPCs and stuff, or even if they don't, it just looks a little bit better to have some real field textures outside of the playable area. And so I think this is going to be a fun little map. I know a lot of people playing on this are obviously focusing on the dairy aspects or the cattle aspects of the map, since there's been a lot of enhancements made to this map with regard to animals. However, for me personally, we've been running animals on a couple of our other series here recently, and so I thought it'd be fun to take a different approach to this map and just do some normal Midwest farming here. So we're gonna give that a shot and really play around with a lot of new equipment here. I'm always excited when I get to do a new series and try out a lot of new mods that I haven't used in a series before, and this one is no exception. I think on this mod, most, if not all of the mods are something that I really haven't used that much in other series, so this is definitely going to be something a little bit different for us. And as always, we'll just try to keep things interesting here. Now I'm going to put this right about there, and I think I've got to hop into our tractor and open the covers here. There we go. So if we jump back here into the map, we can see on the precision farming map that all of our fields are pretty much going to need some lime, but one thing also is that we need to do some tillage over here on field 25. It looks like most of our fields came pre-tilled when we purchased this farm, but this one little field back there is going to need a little bit of tillage done, so we'll have to bust out the 90-20 here as well in a little bit. Now, we didn't quite fill up that hopper with the seed tender here, which is honestly mildly concerning. I guess it's good to have a lot of capacity in our implement for lime, but I'm kind of curious to see how far this lime is going to get us as we start working on things. And so we're gonna go ahead, I think, and get going on spreading this lime in one of our fields here first. And then we'll get the 90-20 going on tillage probably a little bit after that. So I'm gonna bring this seed tender up here, and we're gonna park it right by these trees. It should be out of the way. And I think we're gonna take this first field up here by the road and do the lime spreading up there just as a place to kind of get started and see how this machine is going to work. Now, the ground temperatures are warm enough. We're not frozen here. We are using a geo that was built into the map. If I bring up the planting calendar here, you can see that on top of having just, more customized ground temperatures and things for planting, and the growth cycles are a little bit different than base game, we've also got a few crop types that have been added to the map here. And the one that's of specific interest to me is these short season soybeans. And so you plant them a bit later, but can still harvest them at the same time as regular soybeans. And so I'll be curious to play around with that a little bit, and who knows, we might actually try and do a cover crop here at some point. I haven't really done cover crops in Farm Sim before, and so some oilseed radish or something like that at some point here might be interesting to try out. So I think what we're gonna do is come down here and unfold this and take a headland pass or two off, and that should allow us to have some room to turn around by these trees here, and then we'll start working on these long rows. Now, a lot of our fields, if we jump back in here, are fairly long and narrow. We got a nice big square field here, but relatively small compared to a lot of farms that we've done in Farm Sim so far. And so I'm excited to, kind of give this a shot and see how it's going to go. We do have some fairly decent sized equipment for the size of our fields, but it's always about finding that balance and wanting to keep things fun and interesting here. So I did upgrade this 8530 is set up with not quite the biggest engine option available. There's a chip option on this particular tractor, and that would allow me to get a little bit more horsepower, but I think we're sitting right here at 350 horse on this 8530, so we're not going to have any problems pulling most of the equipment on the farm with this implement at this stage. So I'm really liking the look here of this 2510H. It's a mod that I've been wanting to use for a while. I really wish that Farm Sim allowed you to apply the lime and the fertilizer at the same time. That's the one thing that I couldn't get working. I actually worked on trying to edit this mod, and it looks like because both are kind of treated as fertilizer work areas, that you're not able to do both of them at the same time. In a real-world environment, I would kind of expect to see an anhydrous tank being pulled behind this, and you'd be putting nitrogen and lime on at the same time, like ash or something. But unfortunately, at this stage at least, I haven't been able to figure out how to get Farm Sim to let me do that with a single implement. I would almost need to have the tow behind implement have its own work area or something along those lines. So I'll look into that some more and see if at some point I can get that working. I've been definitely improving my modding skills here over the last several weeks, and so you'll see some of the other mods that we're going to be using in this series are mods that I found online that were broken or not working, and I've done a lot of work to kind of clean them up and resolve some of the issues, resolve the errors, and so I'm slowly but surely getting a bit more confident with my modding skills, and that's going to allow me to show off, I think, a lot more equipment, and also, hopefully, allow me to make a lot more tutorials for you guys, so definitely stay tuned for that. So it looks like we're able to maintain a steady 13 miles an hour with this applicator, and that's going to mean we're going to really make short work of this field, I think. Now that we're kind of going on the up and down rows, I'd love to probably get another headland pass in here. I don't think we're quite wide enough. I'm going to have to keep turning around when we get to the end row here with just one pass. And so we're going to try and do one more headland pass here just to give us that extra space that we need. And as long as we're up here by the truck, we're not empty yet, but we might as well just pull up here and refill or fill up the rest of the lime spreader, especially because we're right here in the appropriate angle and everything. So I'm expecting that this is going to be able to hold the rest of this lime, but we'll see, I suppose. Yep, it looks like we had just enough room. It looks like it was filling up here pretty fast. So I'm going to just park this thing right back over here, out of the way, just in case we need to get by for some reason. And I'm hoping we've got enough lime to finish up this field that we're working on right now. And then we can take another trip up here and get another load in our tender once we are done with this field. If we pop open the mini-map here, we'll see that precision farming is doing its thing and putting the appropriate amount of lime on the fields. Now you can see we're only putting a little bit on, somewhere between 0.375 and 0.5, depending on the area of the field that we're in. And so we're really not that low on lime. We're about one harvest behind on lime, it looks like, in most areas. And so we're going to see how far we get with spreading lime here. And maybe we'll save a couple of fields for next season, just to break things up a little bit. I have to say, I'm really liking this setup. The 8530 here is a nice looking tractor, and I think it pairs up well with this implement. It's probably a bit oversized for what I'd really need to pull this with, but I think it's a good looking combo. So I'm definitely liking this tractor here. We'll do a little bit of in-cab here. You can see that we've got the weight monitor here hooked up, and so it's showing us how many pounds we've got left in here. I'm not sure what the top number is there, but we're at 69. See, what I like about this is that with mods like this, we're starting to get to a point now where running in cab is more and more doable, because now I'm able to, you know, kind of take a look around, watch what I'm doing, and then check this monitor here to see what my current fill level is in the cart without having to have the HUD on. My problem with being in cab is with the HUD on, it takes up so much of your screen area where you're possibly looking at things that it just doesn't feel overly realistic. Now, the only thing that I wish I had is that the in-cab gauges, like the ones on the pillar over here, are still showing things in kilometers an hour. I would love if that was showing me miles per hour. If I can ever get unit convert here to hopefully convert the in-cab numbers at some point. I think I saw Thundar talking about that possibly being something that could be done in an upcoming version of the community extensions mod. So I'm going to check that out here, probably in this series. I think this series would be a good series to play around with that a little bit. And so I know he's been putting out some new versions of that mod here recently, and so I'll have to get that on here and we can play around with that together. There's a lot there. It's been kind of an intimidating mod for me to check out, where unit convert is nice and simple. You pretty much just drop it in and it works. You tell it what units you want and you're good to go. The community extension mod has lots of options, lots of configurability, which I think is the whole point, but it's going to take me just a little bit to feel comfortable with that and show it off. So we'll do that together on this series. I'll try and get that installed before next episode. So we're going to shut this thing off here, and we're at 2,000 pounds, it looks like, left in here. So let me hop out here. Let's turn on our HUD. And so, yeah, you know, we're at 1.04 tons, so 2,000 pounds to a ton, I believe, is the US metric there. So we are in a pretty good spot. I think what we're gonna do now is actually hit this headland here. I think we are gonna lime this field, and so I've got just enough lime here, I think, that we can take off the headland on this end, and then we'll park this thing up by the driveway and go get another load of lime. Now, we don't technically own this barn. This barn belongs to the farm across the road here, and so we just own the field around it here. And so we're gonna try not to tear up his yard too much here as we're going around and taking off these headlands. And this is also our field here that we're turning around on right now, so I don't have to be too worried about it. I do still want to get lined up here for our headland pass a little bit better than we were, though. And so we're just going to go ahead and take 2 headlands off. We're going to try and do the same up here. We've only got 1% of our lime left, so I'm gonna get turned around here. I was thinking about pulling out onto the road there, but honestly, that's just a bad idea. So don't really want to take an active implement out on the road. And we're officially out of lime, so I think what we're gonna do is let's just get turned around here, and I will leave this thing backed up to our driveway. We'll be able to come in here and refill the lime pretty easily then, and we'll be all set up to finish off this headland. So let's go grab the lime real quick. Alright, we've got another load of lime here. And something I've been thinking about a little bit is just how much of the same job we want to do on camera in this series. And so we might try something out a little bit different in this series. I mentioned to people in a live stream this past weekend that I have now officially gone full-time onto YouTube for at least the rest of 2021. And so this is something where some of the next few series here, this one included, we're going to try out a few different things. We're going to see what people like, what they don't like, and generally just try to keep making some improvements to the channel. Leave a comment below, and I'll definitely check it out. I try my best to read every comment and respond to most. And so definitely know that if you leave a comment, I'm going to take a look at it. And so we're going to be experimenting with a few different things in this series, trying out just different techniques, cutting different parts of the video out, you know, time-lapsing, not time-lapsing, I don't know, we're just going to try a bunch of different things. And so it always helps if you can leave a comment below and let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. If there's something that you want to see that I'm not doing, definitely open to suggestions. I can't promise that I will necessarily try everything that people ask for, but I do really like getting the comments from everybody. I do read every comment on all of my videos, and I try to reply to most of them, and so definitely appreciate the feedback from everybody. And so for those that don't know, I do try to live stream at least once a week. I've been live streaming on Sunday afternoons. However, I'm gonna be trying out some different time slots here soon. And so look forward to next week. I'll be trying to live stream at least twice during the middle of the week. So I think I'm going to try one slot in the middle of the day, at least the middle of the day for me personally, Eastern time, as well as an evening in the Eastern time zone in the United States. So look for those announcements on both YouTube and Facebook. I will try to give a couple of days notice to my planned schedule, so at some point, probably over the weekend, I will commit to what specific time slots I'm planning to stream next week. And as always, I love getting together live with the community. It's a lot of fun to get a chance to interact with everybody And so we're going to take off, I think, a couple of headland passes on this end as well to keep us out of the trees. And as I was saying, I do love getting a chance to live stream and interact directly with the community. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned for that here next week. And so it looks like we're now set here on the up-down rows. Should be able to knock these acres out pretty quick. And so I think for a first episode, we've gotten quite a bit done today. And I don't want this to get too long. And so we're going to wrap things up here for today. And then next time, I think what we'll do is switch over, get this guy going on a worker, and probably dive into some tillage with the 90-20 series. So looking forward to this series. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, drop a like below. And if you're new to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button for more daily farm sim content. That's all for today. Kedrick out. Whoa, shoot. Wow, this thing just floats with a full load of line.